The miscalculation High Imperator Kelvor of the Vexari Collective studied the holographic projection of the blue-green planet with contempt. His mandibles clicked as he addressed the War Council. Our reconnaissance confirms it. These humans possess rudimentary nuclear capabilities, internal combustion engines, and primitive digital networks. Their military forces remain divided by archaic national boundaries. He gestured with his upper appendage, dismissing the projection. An ideal expansion target for the collective. Fleet Commander Zalthron, decorated veteran of 17 planetary acquisitions, felt a rare moment of hesitation. Imperator, with respect, our long-range scans detected unusual energy signatures beneath the surface of their Arctic region and scattered throughout their deepest oceans. Anomalous geological formations, Science Director Vextra interjected. Nothing more. Our biological assessment rates them as a Category 4 species, capable of limited resistance, but ultimately acquiescent to superior force. Kelvor's compound eyes gleamed. The decision is made. Prepare the first wave. We commence in 30 rotations. Half a world away from the cloaked Vexari mothership, General Kira Nakamura sat in the sterile confines of Facility 0, 3 kilometers beneath Mount Fuji. Before her, 60 screens displayed real-time data from satellites that officially didn't exist. They've dropped their cloaking field, she noted, watching the massive alien vessel materialize in high orbit. Just as predicted, Lieutenant Wei adjusted his glasses nervously. The Sentinel AI gives us a 97.8% probability that this is the Vexari Collective, General. Their technology signature matches the wreckage we recovered from Antarctica in 2089. Nakamura nodded grimly. How fitting that they've come to claim what they believe is theirs. Initiate Protocol Lazarus and contact all Guardian Sentinel cells. Globally, authorization, Phoenix Rising. What about the civilian governments? Asked Colonel Damien Okoye, his voice crackling through the quantum-encrypted communication line from his command post beneath Lake Victoria. They'll be informed when the Vexari make their first move, Nakamura replied. We've maintained secrecy for nearly a century for this exact scenario. If the world knew what we've been preparing for, what we've built, there would have been mass panic. As if on cue, the screens lit up with incoming reports. Smaller vessels were deploying from the mothership, descending toward major population centers: Lagos, Shanghai, New York, São Paulo. Wei listed the targets as they appeared. They're starting with a show of force, just as the simulations predicted. Nakamura stood, her expression hardening. The Vexari think they're facing a fractured, primitive species with limited defensive capabilities. That's exactly what we wanted them to believe. She pressed her palm against the biometric scanner, unlocking the facility's master control system. A new holographic display materialized, showing a global network of installations connected by pulsing blue lines. Activate all Sentinel platforms. Deploy Thor orbital defense satellites. Bring the quantum shield generators online. Her voice was steady, methodical. And wake the sleepers. In silos hidden beneath the ocean floor, in mountain bunkers and desert complexes disguised as research stations, humanity's true technological achievements began to stir. Technology reverse-engineered from the very species now attempting invasion, enhanced by human ingenuity, and the desperation of a species that had always suspected it wasn't alone in the universe. As the first Vexari landing craft entered Earth's atmosphere, their sensors detected nothing unusual. Their intelligence suggested minimal orbital defense capabilities, fragmented military response, and primitive weapons technology. The first plasma bolt from a Thor satellite vaporized 3 landing craft in succession. Across the globe, quantum shield generators created impenetrable domes over major cities. And deep beneath the Mariana Trench, the massive fusion engines of humanity's secret space fleet began to power up. High Imperator Kelvor's confident mandible click transformed into a startled hiss as the data flooded in. Impossible, he whispered. We've been deceived. The awakening. The Vexari's initial assault on Earth met with catastrophic losses. Where their intelligence had predicted minimal resistance, they encountered devastating counterattacks from weapon systems that shouldn't have existed on a Category 4-Planet. Commander Zalthran stared at the casualty reports with disbelief. 17 dropships destroyed before reaching the surface. 29 ground assault teams have gone silent. And we've lost contact with our primary landing force in the region they call North America. Science Director Vextra frantically analyzed the incoming data. The humans are employing directed energy weapons utilizing quantum entanglement principles. This technology is at least classification 7, centuries beyond what our reconnaissance indicated. High Imperator Kelvor's carapace flushed with rage indicators. Explain this failure, Director. How did we miss an entire planetary defense system? The humans concealed their true capabilities, Vextra replied, mandibles quivering with anxiety. They maintained a facade of primitive technology while developing advanced systems in secret. It appears they've been preparing for interstellar contact, or invasion, for decades. On the surface, the truth of these words was playing out in dramatic fashion. In the skies above Sydney, Australia, Major Freya Johansson piloted her X-91 Thunderhawk, a hypersonic aircraft with metamaterial cloaking that rendered it invisible to conventional detection. The squadron of 12 Thunderhawks had been hidden inside a mountain hangar disguised as an abandoned mining operation. "Guardian flight, weapons free," she commanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Target the landing crafts before they can deploy ground forces." The Thunderhawks unleashed a barrage of quantum-tipped missiles, designed specifically to penetrate the Vexari shields, based on technology recovered from the Antarctic crash site decades earlier. The alien vessels exploded in spectacular blue-white, bursts raining debris into the harbor below. "This is for Melbourne," Freya whispered as she banked her craft sharply to avoid return fire. The coastal city had been the first to face the Vexari's wrath, now a smoking crater where 1 million people had lived just hours before. Beneath the Indian Ocean, Colonel Damien Okoye stood in the command center of Sanctuary 6, one of Earth's 15 subterranean megabases. Around him, technicians coordinated global defense operations while others worked to integrate captured Vexari technology into Earth systems. "The sleepers are fully operational, Colonel," reported Lieutenant Commander Rishi Patel, referring to the dormant defense platforms hidden in orbit decades ago under the guise of routine satellite launches. "They've neutralized 60% of the enemy's orbital support craft," Okoye nodded grimly. "And the Prometheus protocol? Dr. Jackson Way reports final preparations underway. The array will be ready within 3 hours." Okoye's face remained impassive, but inwardly he felt a surge of hope. The Prometheus array, humanity's most closely guarded secret, represented their best chance of repelling the invasion force. Based on principles of quantum field manipulation, it could theoretically disable every piece of Vexari technology within the solar system. "The question remains," Okoye said quietly. "How much more will we lose before then?" In Washington, D.C., the Vexari ground forces had established a beachhead, their 6-limbed soldiers advancing through the ruins of the National Mall. Their biomechanical armor shrugged off conventional weapons fire as they methodically eliminated human resistance until the ground beneath them erupted. From concealed bunkers emerged the Titan Brigade, soldiers encased in powered exoskeletons that enhanced their strength, speed, and durability 100-fold. Leading them was Captain Ezekiel Stone, a veteran of covert operations who had been training for this day his entire military career. "Titans, engage," he roared through his helmet's communication system. "Remember your training. Target there, joint mechanisms and sensory apparatus." The Titan Brigade tore into the Vexari forces with shocking ferocity. Where conventional military units had been overwhelmed, these enhanced soldiers moved with blinding speed, ripping through alien armor with monomolecular blades and short-range plasma weapons. Aboard the mothership, High Imperator Kelvor watched, with mounting horror as the humans revealed more of their hidden arsenal. Reports flooded in of massive underwater vessels emerging to attack Vexari ships, of ground-based particle accelerators obliterating their dropships, and of human soldiers employing technology that should have been impossible for their species to develop. This was never a Category 4 civilization, Zalthran realized aloud. They deceived us deliberately. "Adjust our strategy," Kelvor commanded, his voice tight with suppressed fury. Deploy the planet cracker weapon. If we cannot claim this world, we will ensure no one else does. As the order was given, a new signal appeared on the Vexari command interface. A tight beam transmission originating from Earth, directed specifically at the mothership. Incoming communication from the humans, reported the communications officer. Display, Melvor ordered. The holographic projector activated, revealing the stern face of General Kira Nakamura. Her eyes burned with cold determination as she addressed the Vexari leadership. This is just the beginning, she stated flatly. You thought us weak. You thought us unprepared. That miscalculation will cost you everything. We are not prey. We are humanity, and we're coming for you next. The United Front 48 hours into the invasion, the world had transformed in ways unimaginable mere days before. Ancient rivalries dissolved as humanity faced extinction. In an emergency session broadcast from a hardened bunker beneath Geneva, the United Nations Security Council unanimously activated the Phoenix Protocol, a contingency plan that had existed only as a classified addendum known to a select few world leaders. Today we stand as one species, announced Secretary General Amara Okonkwo, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. National borders are hereby suspended for the duration of this crisis. All military assets fall under unified command. The time for secrets between nations has passed. In Moscow's Kremlin war room, Russian President Mikhail Baranov shook hands with his Chinese counterpart, President Lin Mei. Behind them, generals from both nations, historical competitors, huddled over holographic displays showing Vexari troop movements. Our Siberian quantum facility is at your disposal, Baranov said, activating a classified terminal that revealed the existence of a massive research complex in the Ural Mountains. The prototype phase shift generators are operational, but untested in combat conditions. President Lin nodded, reciprocating by unveiling China's contribution. Our lunar manufacturing base has been producing antimatter containment shells since 2119. We have enough to arm your delivery systems. Similar scenes played out across the globe as humanity's factional leaders revealed technological marvels kept hidden even from allies. India's gravitational disruption field, Brazil's biomechanical combat units, Japan's quantum computing network that could predict Vexari tactical movements with 98.7% accuracy. In the Mediterranean Sea, the USS Defiance, America's first true spacefaring warship disguised as a conventional aircraft carrier, surfaced for the first time in its 15-year secret operational history. Captain Emiliana Cortez stood on the bridge as massive launch doors opened along the vessel's spine, revealing a battery of kinetic impact weapons designed to strike targets in high orbit. Target Vexari support vessels, she ordered. Prioritize. They're fuel tankers and ammunition ships. Fire when ready. The Defiance's weapons roared to life, sending hypervelocity projectiles streaking into the sky. In orbit, Vexari support craft began exploding as the tungsten rods, traveling at nearly 15,000 miles per hour, tore through their hulls. Meanwhile, in the headquarters of Guardian Sentinel beneath the Swiss Alps, Director Nadia Volkov addressed the assembled leaders of Earth's Secret Defense Initiative, men and women who had dedicated their lives to preparing for this moment. For 80 years we've operated in absolute secrecy, Volkov said, her voice echoing in the cavernous command center. Since the Antarctic crash recovery in 2089, we've known this day would come. Every nation represented here contributed their brightest minds and resources to a cause they couldn't reveal even to their own governments. She gestured to a holographic display showing the current state of the conflict. Red indicators representing Vexari forces were being systematically surrounded and neutralized by blue human counterattacks. The Vexari expected to find a primitive, divided species, she continued. Instead, they found the culmination of nearly a century of unified human preparation. But our advantage of surprise is fading. The next phase will be more difficult. Jackson Wei stepped forward, adjusting his glasses nervously. The Prometheus array is online, Director. But there's a complication. The Vexari mothership has engaged quantum shielding that our systems can't penetrate. We need a direct connection to their central computer core. A boarding party, Captain Ezekiel Stone said, still in his Titan exoskeleton, battle damage evident across its surface. We infiltrate their command ship and deploy the override sequence manually. Director Volkov nodded grimly. Precisely, and I've selected the team to lead this mission. On the Vexari mothership, the mood had shifted from confident conquest to desperate survival. Commander Zalthran had assumed tactical control after High Imperator Kelvor's mental collapse, a shameful condition among their species triggered by the catastrophic failure of his invasion plan. The humans are coordinating globally, Zalthran reported to the War Council. Their resistance is not fractured as our intelligence suggested. It's orchestrated with precision that suggests long-term preparation. Science Director Vextra's appendages trembled as she manipulated the holographic displays. Most disturbing is their technology. They're using principles we believed unknown to Category 4 species. Some of their weapons bear unmistakable similarities to our own designs. Could they have reverse-engineered technology from the scout vessel that crashed on their world during the last solar cycle? Asked fleet strategist Mockstar. Impossible, Vextra dismissed. That would require technological intuition beyond an alarm blared, interrupting her. The ship's defensive systems had detected an incoming threat, a massive energy buildup emanating from Earth's surface. Multiple launch signatures detected, reported the tactical officer. They're deploying orbital vehicles, hundreds of them. On the main view screen, the Council watched in disbelief as Earth's atmosphere lit up with ascending craft. Sleek, predatory vessels that bore no resemblance to the primitive rocket technology the Vexari had expected. These were purpose-built warships, their hulls incorporating stealth materials and weapon systems clearly designed with Vexari defenses in mind. How? Vextra whispered. How could we have been so wrong? Commander Zalthran's compound eyes narrowed as understanding dawned. They knew we were coming. Perhaps they've known for decades. Everything we observed, their primitive technology, their political divisions, it was a facade. He turned to the tactical display, making a difficult decision. Begin evacuation preparations. Recall all ground forces. We must regroup and reassess before the collective commits more resources to this catastrophic error. As the order was given, the first wave of Earth's space fleet entered low orbit, their weapons locking onto Vexari targets with merciless precision. Humanity had awakened, and it was furious. The counteroffensive, the orbital battle unfolded with a ferocity that stunned even veteran Vexari commanders. Earth's hidden fleet, vessels that had been constructed in secret underwater facilities and lunar manufacturing bases, swarmed the invaders with coordinated precision. Commander Zalthran watched the tactical display with mounting dread as human ships executed maneuvers that exploited vulnerabilities in Vexari formation protocols, vulnerabilities that should have been unknown to anyone outside their military. They're using our own tactics against us, he observed grimly. Combat patterns from the Rigelian campaign, flanking sequences from the Tau Ceti subjugation. Fleet strategist Mockstar's appendages trembled. Impossible. Those battle records are encrypted in the Central Archives. Unless they've been studying us far longer than we realized, Zalthran finished. Prepare to deploy the dimensional disruptors. We need to create an escape corridor. Aboard the EDS Vindicator, Admiral Toshiro Yamamoto coordinated humanity's orbital offensive. The massive warship, constructed in segments within Japan's underwater Mariana facility, and assembled in orbit under the guise of an International Space Station module, now revealed its true purpose as Earth's orbital command center. Battle Group Sigma engage their port flank, Yamamoto ordered. Battle Group Omega maintain suppression fire on their weapons arrays. All vessels be advised, our quantum sensors indicate they're preparing to deploy dimensional technology. The Admiral turned to the figure beside him, Dr. Jackson Way, who had been hastily transported to the Vindicator after the Prometheus array came online. Will the array neutralize their dimensional capabilities? Yamamoto asked. Way shook his head. Not without direct access to their systems, but I've completed the integration with the captured Vexari scout ship. Captain Stone's strike team is ready for deployment. On the launch deck below, Captain Ezekiel Stone and his elite Titan brigade prepared for what many considered a suicide mission. Their objective: board the Vexari mothership, fight their way to the central computer core, and deploy Dr. Wei's override sequence to disable the aliens' defenses. Their insertion vehicle was a modified Vexari scout craft recovered from the Antarctic crash site decades earlier, now retrofitted with human technology and programmed to transmit authentic Vexari identification codes. Remember, Stone addressed his team, once we're aboard, we'll have approximately 12 minutes before their systems detect the intrusion. Precision and speed are everything. Major Freya Johansson, now transferred from her Thunderhawk to join the boarding party, checked her quantum displacement rifle one final time. 12 minutes to cross 5 kilometers of hostile territory, neutralize an unknown number of defenders, and hack an alien supercomputer. Sounds straightforward. Stone allowed himself a grim smile. Just another day saving humanity. The modified scout ship launched from the Vindicator's bay, accelerating toward the massive Vexari mothership. As they approached, the vessel's automated systems recognized the craft's identification signature and opened a maintenance docking port, exactly as planned. Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, the counteroffensive continued. Colonel Damien Okoye directed operations from Sanctuary 6 as Titan brigades, and conventional forces pushed Vexari ground troops back from conquered territories. The aliens, cut off from orbital support and facing unexpected resistance, began a disorganized retreat. In Washington, D.C., Titan soldiers reclaimed the ruins of the capital. In Beijing, biomechanical combat units surrounded and neutralized a Vexari command post. In the skies above Rio de Janeiro, Thunderhawk squadrons engaged, the last of the alien dropships attempting evacuation. "We have them on the run," reported Lieutenant Commander Rishi Patel, monitoring global battle updates. Vexari ground forces are surrendering in Australia and Eastern Europe. Their orbital support craft are being systematically eliminated. Okoye nodded, but his expression remained grave. "It's the mothership that matters. If Stone's team fails, the Vexari still have enough firepower to render Earth uninhabitable." Inside the Vexari mothership, Captain Stone's strike team moved with methodical efficiency. Their Titan exoskeletons, now enhanced with adaptive camouflage based on captured Vexari technology, allowed them to neutralize alien security patrols before alarms could be triggered. "Central core access is 2 levels down," reported Lieutenant Hiroshi Tanaka, interpreting the ship's schematics through his helmet's augmented reality display. "Security protocols indicate maximum resistance." Stone nodded. "Freya, take point. With the quantum disruptors. Tanaka Rivera provides suppression fire. I'll escort Dr. Wei's avatar to the interface point." The avatar was perhaps humanity's most audacious technological achievement. A quantum-entangled drone containing a digital copy of Dr. Wei's consciousness, capable of interfacing directly with Vexari systems at speeds no human operator could match. As they descended toward the central core, they encountered increasing resistance. Vexari security drones swarmed the corridors, and elite guards in heavy assault armor formed defensive positions at key junctions. Major Johansson deployed her quantum disruptors, devices that temporarily shifted small areas of spacetime slightly out of phase, causing devastating cellular disruption to any organic matter caught within. The Vexari guards collapsed as their molecular structure temporarily lost coherence. 5 minutes remaining, Tanaka reported as they reached the massive doors protecting the central core. Stone placed shaped plasma charges at strategic points along the doorframe. "Stand clear." The explosion ripped through the alien alloy, creating an opening just large enough for the team to enter. Inside, they found themselves in a vast chamber dominated by a pulsing crystalline structure, the Vexari biomechanical mainframe. "Deploying the avatar," Stone announced, activating the drone that contained Wei's consciousness. The small device floated toward the crystalline structure, extending interface tendrils that penetrated the alien technology. Immediately, alarms blared throughout the ship. On the command deck, Commander Zal Thran received the security alert with shock. "Intruders in the central core. How did they penetrate our defenses? Before anyone could respond, the ship's systems began failing in cascading sequence. Weapons, shields, propulsion, life support, all flickered and destabilized as Dr. Wei's consciousness spread through the Vexari network, uploading the Prometheus override sequence. "They're in our systems," Science Director Vexitra cried. "They're accessing everything: battle records, star charts, technological schematics." Zalthran realized with horror what was happening. "They're not just disabling us, they're stealing everything we know." In the central core, Stone's team established a defensive perimeter as the Avatar completed its work. Through the ship-wide communication system, they could hear the chaos erupting throughout the vessel as systems failed and the Vexari crew panicked. "Avatar reports mission success," Stone announced. "Prometheus override sequence uploaded. Downloading. Vexari database." Freya checked her tactical display. 3 minutes until extraction window closes. Stone nodded. "Mission accomplished. Let's go home." As they fought their way back to their insertion craft, the mothership's systems continued to fail around them. Emergency lighting flickered, artificial gravity fluctuated, and confused Vexari troops offered increasingly disorganized resistance. Aboard the Vindicator, Admiral Yamamoto received confirmation that the Prometheus sequence had been successfully deployed. "Activate the array," he ordered. On Earth and in orbit, the Prometheus array, a network of quantum field generators positioned strategically around the planet, activated simultaneously. A wave of energy unlike anything seen before expanded outward, engulfing the Vexari fleet. Throughout the alien armada, technology failed catastrophically as the quantum field disrupted the very principles upon which their systems operated. Weapons went offline. Shields collapsed. Propulsion systems shut down. The invasion force was dead in space, and humanity's counterattack was just beginning. The Reckoning. 3 days after the Prometheus array disabled the Vexari fleet, humanity's counteroffensive entered its final phase. The disabled alien vessels hung in orbit like technological carcasses, their once formidable weapon systems now inert. Only minimal life support remained functional, a deliberate decision by Earth's leadership to ensure the survival of potential prisoners rather than commit wholesale slaughter. In the war room of Guardian Sentinel headquarters, Director Nadia Volkov convened the Reckoning Council, the architects of humanity's response to the invasion. "The Vexari mothership has been secured," she announced, addressing the assembled military leaders and scientific advisors. Captain Stone's team completed their mission with minimal casualties. Dr. Wei's consciousness has been successfully extracted from the Avatar and reintegrated. Dr. Jackson Wei, looking pale but determined after his virtual journey through alien systems, stepped forward. The data extraction was complete. We now possess the entirety of the Vexari technological database, star charts covering 17 sectors and, most significantly, their records of other spacefaring civilizations. General Kira Nakamura leaned forward. "And what have we learned about our enemy?" "The Vexari Collective is one of 12 major powers in our galactic quadrant," Wei explained, activating a holographic display that showed a 3-dimensional map of nearby star systems. "They've conquered 27 worlds over 3 centuries, always targeting what they classify as Category 4 civilizations or lower, species with limited technological development and no unified planetary defense." Colonel Damien Okoye's expression darkened. "They're predators who target the vulnerable." "Precisely," Wei confirmed, "and now we know why they came here. The scout ship that crashed in Antarctica in 2089 was on a preliminary assessment mission. When it failed to return, the collective assumed it had encountered technical difficulties. They never suspected that we had recovered it, studied their technology, and spent decades preparing for their eventual arrival." Admiral Yamamoto spoke next, his weathered face grave. "The question before us now is, what do we do with the disabled Vexari fleet and its surviving crew?" The debate that followed was intense. Some argued for mercy, that humanity should demonstrate its moral superiority by sparing the invaders. Others advocated for justice, trials for war crimes against Earth's population. Still others pushed for a more pragmatic approach, the continued study of Vexari biology and technology to further advance human capabilities. Director Volkov finally raised her hand for silence. We will pursue all these paths, but first, we must ensure the Vexari and any other potential aggressors understand the consequences of attacking Earth. Admiral Yamamoto, you have operational command of the mission. In orbit, the EDS Vindicator led a flotilla of Earth's most advanced warships in boarding operations across the disabled Vexari fleet. Titan brigades secured vessel after vessel, encountering minimal resistance from the demoralized alien crews. Aboard the mothership, Commander Zalthran and the surviving members of the Vexari High Command were escorted to the bridge under heavy guard. Captain Ezekiel Stone, still in his battle-scarred Titan armor, awaited them alongside Major Freya Johansson. Commander Zalthran, Stone addressed the alien leader, by authority of Earth's United Defense Command, you and your officers are being detained as prisoners of war. You will be transported to Earth for formal proceedings regarding your unprovoked attack on our world. Zalthran's compound eyes fixed on the human. You deceived us. Your technological development, it was all hidden. We learned from the best. Johansson replied coldly. Your scout ship taught us everything we needed to know about the Vexari, including your tendency to underestimate species you consider primitive. Before Zalthran could respond, the ship's communication system activated. On the main view screen appeared the stern face of Admiral Yamamoto. The High Imperator has been located, he reported. Preparations for Phase Omega are complete. Stone nodded. We're proceeding to the extraction point. As the Vexari officers were led away, Johansson turned to Stone. Do you think this will truly deter others from attempting what the Vexari failed to do? It has to, Stone replied. Otherwise, all of this was for nothing. 24 hours later, a remarkable procession traveled through space toward Mars. Leading the formation was the EDS Vindicator, followed by 3 captured Vexari warships now under human control. In their midst, a shuttle transported High Imperator Kelvor, recovered from his mental collapse but broken in spirit, along with Commander Zalthran and key members of the Vexari leadership. Their destination, Phobos, the larger of Mars' 2 moons, where humanity had established a forward military outpost disguised as a scientific research station. The facility had been expanded dramatically in recent days, its surface now bristling with weapon systems salvaged from disabled Vexari vessels. As the shuttle docked, Admiral Yamamoto, General Nakamura, and Director Volkov awaited the prisoners. Behind them stood representatives from every nation on Earth, united in purpose. High Imperator, Nakamura addressed Kelvor as he was brought before them. You came to our world believing us weak and divided. You sought to conquer what you could, not understand. Today you will witness the consequences of that error. Kelvor's mandibles clicked weakly. The collective will send others. They will avenge this defeat. We're counting on it, Volkov replied with a cold smile. At her signal, the facility's massive observation dome became transparent, revealing the vista of space above them and the astonishing sight of Earth's new defense perimeter. Hundreds of weapons platforms salvaged from the Vexari fleet now orbited Mars, their systems reconfigured to human specifications. Beyond them, the first wave of Earth's true space fleet, vessels, constructed using the newly acquired Vexari technology, moved into formation. This is merely the beginning, Admiral Yamamoto informed the stunned aliens. Even now, our scientists are implementing improvements to your designs. Within 1 standard year, we will have a fleet twice the size of the armada you brought against us. General Nakamura stepped forward. You are here to bear witness not as prisoners but as messengers. You will be provided a single vessel to return to your collective with data recordings of everything you see here today. And a message, Director Volkov added. Earth is not, and never was, a Category 4 civilization. We are humanity, and we do not start wars, but we will finish them. Commander Zalthran's compound eyes widened as understanding dawned. You're letting us go. With conditions, Nakamura clarified. The coordinates of your homeworld and central colonies are now in our database. Should any Vexari vessel approach our solar system again without explicit invitation, we will consider it an act of war and respond accordingly. On Earth, the reconstruction had already begun. Cities devastated by the initial assault were being rebuilt using advanced materials and techniques derived from Vexari technology. Medical breakthroughs based on alien biology were saving lives that would have been lost to conventional treatment. In Washington, D.C., the new global unity complex rose from the ashes of the destroyed capital, a symbol of humanity's newfound solidarity. Inside its central chamber, Colonel Damien Okoye addressed the assembled representatives of Earth's nations. The Vexari invasion changed everything, he stated plainly. Not just our technology or our defenses, but our understanding of our place in the galaxy. We are not alone, and not all our cosmic neighbors are friendly. The holographic display behind him showed the growing Earth fleet, vessels under construction in orbital shipyards that had once been disguised as space stations or satellites. But we have learned perhaps the most important lesson of all, that despite our differences, despite centuries of conflict among ourselves, humanity possesses an indomitable spirit when united against a common threat. As his words echoed through the chamber, a new chapter in human history was beginning, no longer confined to their homeworld, no longer naive about the dangers that lurked among the stars. Humanity prepared to take its place in the galactic community, not as conquerors, but as defenders. And throughout the galaxy, as news spread of the Vexari defeat, other civilizations took note. The species that had appeared primitive and vulnerable had revealed itself to be something else entirely, an apex predator that had simply been waiting, watching, and preparing. Earth was no longer merely a blue-green planet of little consequence. It was now a world to be approached with caution, home to a species that had demonstrated its capacity not only for advanced technology and military prowess, but for something far more dangerous. Humanity had shown the stars that it would fight, with unrelenting fury when threatened, and that was a lesson the galaxy would not soon forget.